So good evening and welcome to Tech Talks, hosted by Vision Loss Alliance of New Jersey. My name is Linda Grosseff, Program Director, and also with us tonight, we have Elsa Zavoda, Vice President of Programs.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Tonight, we are honored to have with us Mr. Sherlock Washington, founder and president of SW Unlimited, Enriching Lives Through Adaptive Technology. A kind reminder to all, this program is being recorded, so we ask that you please mute yourselves. Tonight's topic, Sherlock will be sharing about built-in accessibility features that exist on personal computers, and in addition, screen reading and screen magnification softwares that are available to enable a computer to be fully accessible to a person with vision loss and blindness. Before I introduce our guest, I'd like to share the bio of Sherlock Washington. Sherlock is an entrepreneur who is blind due to retinitis pigmentosa, a degenerative eye condition first detected when he was 7 years old. A sports devotee most of his life, Sherlock is well known for his athleticism in the visually impaired community. He is the co-founder and currently serves as a board member for the Association of Blind Athletes of New Jersey. His athleticism has led him to the Paralympics in the Netherlands, to playing goalball, earning the gold medal in 1993. He's earned 2 Baseball World Series championship rings as a member of the West Coast Dogs, in addition to playing for other states as a top-ranking athlete. In 2009, he co-founded New Jersey's first baseball team for blind athletes, the New Jersey Lightning. An active motivational speaker, Sherlock voluntarily addresses students and other groups to dispel stereotypes and promote awareness of the capabilities of people who are blind. Sherlock established SW Unlimited LLC in 1998, and 10 years later was honored by the Granville Academy as the recipient of their 2008 Award for Entrepreneurship. In 2007, SW Unlimited LLC partnered with Freedom Scientific Vispero and HIMS Incorporated. Became a regional distributor of low vision and blindness products, as well as products to individuals with learning disabilities. SW Unlimited LLC also works to minimize the adverse impact on the environment by coordinating the appropriate disposal of used computer equipment. Sherlock is a graduate of Rider University with a degree in computer science, lives in Matawan, New Jersey, with his wife, Kim, and son, Edward. Before we move on to this evening's presentation, let's review our Zoom protocol. We ask you to hold your questions until Sherlock cues you. When you ask your question, please use the raise your hand feature. For those of you who dialed in, the raise your hand feature is *9. *6 will mute and unmute you, giving you the opportunity to ask your question. Using a computer, Alt-Y, raise your hand, Alt-A, mute and unmute command. If you're using a Mac, use the Option +Y, the keyboard shortcut to raise or lower your hand, Alt+A to mute and unmute yourself. Using the Zoom app on the iPad, move to the top right, select the More option and flick down to the Raise Hand feature. On the iPhone, this feature is located at the bottom of the screen on the right side. And now we are pleased and honored to have with us Sherlock Washington.
Great. Thank you so much, Linda. That was an excellent introduction, and I truly appreciate. Good evening to one and all. It's very, very nice to be here. I know I was here a number of months ago, but it's always a pleasure when I am called to speak to VLANJ participants and seeing what we can certainly do to share. And that's what I think. It's all about sharing information so that this way we can all be a lot wiser and a lot more independent. And that's exactly what VLANJ stands for as well, too, for giving you guys as much independence, especially with all their beautiful programming. And I am now happy to be able to let you guys know a little bit about some adaptive technology that is built in to the computers that we are using. If it's a Windows 10 or Windows 11, and primarily the majority of everyone's computer is usually a PC. And of course, if it's not a PC, usually then it's a Mac. But for intents and purposes, I would think that 90% of us use a PC, and a lot of the times we are not able to use that PC fully unless we have some type of a screen reader that we can more or less deploy to assist us in navigating around the computer desktop. So today, or this evening, I am tasked to share with you guys a little bit about JAWS. And of course, there is, with the built-in Windows screen software that comes automatically with the system. So as soon as you get it, as soon as you're setting up the system, you can certainly get Windows Narrator active, and you can certainly navigate around the computer desktop, checking your email, downloading different applications and everything that you need. So I was going to more or less try to see what we can do to make it a learning and very interactive hour with you guys tonight. It is for an hour, I think. Is that not correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, so therefore, we've got some ground to cover, but we can't basically do all things in this hour. But what I wanted to do is to make sure that we have enough, that if we give you guys some instructions and some information, that you can certainly try this right now. A lot of you guys are connecting through iPhones and iPads and Android devices, but some of us may be using a PC. So if you have a computer at home, perhaps you may be able to check some of these key commands out to see how well that they may work for you. Now, everybody knows that if you have a computer and you're using JAWS, or you're using Narrator, or it could be NVDA or some of the other such screen readers that are out there. There's even one that they have for seniors called Dolphin Guide, which is a program that if people don't know a lot about computers, everything is pretty much laid out for you from the numbers from 1 through 12. So if you wanted to, let's say, check your email, it's number 1. Or if you want to get on the internet, it's like number 3. If you want to write a document, it's number 4, whatever the case is. So you have a number that corresponds to some of the things in which you may need to do or would like to do. So you don't have to know a lot about computers. And this is very effective because everything is built in there, even if you're doing media, like playing a DVD, or if you are looking to, play a CD or any of it, or even now it's very popular to do podcasts and things of that nature. So when we use our computers, that's that Dolphin Guide that helps us with that. So I'm on my computer, and I wanted to figure out what's the best way I may be able to do that, at least to let you guys kind of hear, and maybe for some of you guys to be able to see some of the things that we're doing as well, for those who have some visual acuity, okay? So one of the first things that I'm going to do is I'm going to probably need to get that screen share correct, which allow me to kind of have you guys come in a little bit and see what we're doing to navigate and get around the computer. And I will be speaking as we do this as well, and then I will turn everything back over once I guess we can do that. So is that something that's possible, Linda, to
yes,
do?
Absolutely.
All right, and then I'm going to share with you guys a little bit as to how we can get the screen share together. So I'm actually in my Zoom window. So when she basically gives me the permissions that I can do a screen share, I'm going to do Alt-S for screen share. And you tell me when you're ready for me to do that, Linda.
Ready, Elsa? Yes, ready.
Okay, so I'm going to do Alt-S right now for screen share.
Alt-S, select a window or an application that you want to share.
And then I'm going to tab over so I make sure I can share my voice as well.
Select sharing sound mode button menu.
And then I hit space bar on that.
Space, context menu, mono checked. Optimize for visual button.
Now,
Share screen button.
now we can do share screen. So we hit enter his space bar again.
Space. Leave menu. You started screen share.
And then my computer says, you've started screen share. So now that I've started screen share, you guys should be able to hear as well as see what's on my computer screen right now. Now, unfortunately, because I have RP, I can't see what's on my screen. But that's why I use JAWS, and been now getting more acclimated and accustomed to using the built-in screen reader in Windows as well. So since JAWS is already up, let's talk a little bit about JAWS and how do we navigate utilizing this tool. So if I wanted to get to the desktop, I'm going to basically have to put the desktop in focus. And by me doing this, I'm just going to use the keystroke command called Windows M or Windows D, if it's easier for some of those folks to remember that. Either one will put us to the desktop. So I'm going to do Windows D.
Windows D, leaving menu, folder view, list view, Google Drive.
Okay, so now it says Google Drive, so therefore it's on the desktop.
System, Google, no host, Word, 35.
Now, as you hear, and some of you can see,
Outlook,
I'm arrowing up, so it's Outlook.
Excel,
I'm arrowing up.
Check for updates, 30.
All right, so and then I could do left or right, of course, so therefore everything is kind of laid out. But I already know that I've got like 59 items on my desktop. So for me to actually go through each and every item by hitting an arrow key and waiting and hoping that I may land on that particular program that I'd like, there is a very easy way to navigate to that particular program. And all I would have to do is just hit the beginning letter of what I am looking for. So let's just say if I wanted to look for Outlook, which is our email program, and everybody knows that Outlook starts with the letter O, so I'll hit O.
OneDrive SW Unlimited.
And but by the way, it will then pull up everything that starts with the letter O. So therefore, OneDrive, and for those of you who don't know what OneDrive is, if you're using something called Office 365, which is what I have, it allows you to have 1 gig of storage. And that means that no matter what computer that I'm working with, I have laptops, I have desktops, but it allows you to go up to like 5 computers that I can load that on. And after I load it on there, I can then save things just like how I save things to my document folder. If I save it to my OneDrive, let's just say that I'm on my desktop now, and if I go and get my laptop and I saved it to the OneDrive, I can go to OneDrive in my laptop and I can actually access that file or that item that I placed into my OneDrive. So I don't ever, where I am, I can get that information. If I've been working on something, I can put it to the OneDrive, and if I'm out and about and I need to access that information or access a file, I'll just go to that OneDrive and grab that information. So that basically explains what that is. So now I hit O again.
OpenBook 9.0.
And there's OpenBook. We all are big fans of OpenBook. OpenBook is an optical character recognition piece of software that I can use with a Pearl camera or a scanner. And if I place something under the scanner or on the scanner, or if I use a Pearl camera, I can place it underneath the camera. I take an image when I have OpenBook open, and it will just scan that document for me and basically have me have access to it, and it'll read it through JAWS. Okay, here I'll hit O again.
Outlook.
And there she goes. That's Microsoft Outlook. So now that I have Outlook, it's in focus right now. So therefore, it's highlighted for those who can see it. And that means if something is highlighted, I can just hit my Enter key, and then it will activate whatever I have highlighted, right? So let's just say that if I wanted to go to Microsoft Word, now I just said Microsoft Word, which starts with the letter W. Now if I hit the letter W, it'll jump right to whatever starts with the letter W on my desktop.
Word 59.
3559. So therefore, it is right there for me to be able to hit Enter, and then I can start enter into that Word program, and then I will have start typing and editing and doing all that look again. So I'm going to
OneDrive, open book, Outlook, 34, enter.
and I'm going to open it up.
Sherlock at onelimited.com.
So once Outlook is open, I can now navigate through utilizing my arrow keys, right? Because everything is in a column. Column is straight up and down. So therefore, if I'm looking to navigate when I email, I can just arrow down.
Unread. Vision Loss Alliance of New Jersey. VLANJ confirmation. Web4/2023 7 p.m.
Oh, look at that. This is our VLANJ Tech Talk meeting information, right? So therefore, I can just hit enter. As I said, anything that we see that's highlighted or I'm on, I can hit enter to open that up. And if I were to open it, I don't want to screw myself up, but I'll open it. And then after, I'm just going to share with you some of the ways that we can get around inside a document. So I'm going to open up my email.
Enter.
So now,
Zoom logo with graphic.
so now it is Zoom logo. So I will then want to make sure that I'm at the top of the document. And the reason that I will want to know that I'm at the top of the document, let's just say that if I wanted to navigate through this document, there are several ways that I can do so. I can do so by line. And if I want to do line by line, all I would need to do is just hit my down arrow.
VLANJ. Table with 2 columns and 23 rows. VLANJ. Hello, Sherlock, Washington. Thank you for registering for VLANJ Tech Talks. You can find information about this meeting below.
So now it will basically read that line by line. But then again, if it's a very large document, I don't want to sit here all day and just having to interact by hitting the arrow key one at a time and everything else. So there is a command that makes it very simple for me to read the entire email. And that is our JAWS key with the down arrow. Now, they're going to say, well, what's this JAWS key? Well, a JAWS key or an insert key is a key that we may be able to use with another key in conjunction with that, and it will basically help us to perform a particular action. So insert down arrow is our say all command when we are using JAWS. So just to give you an idea, I'm going to have my insert key. And by the way, the insert key, for those who have a full-size computer keyboard, there is a number pad on the far right hand of my computer keyboard. And with this number pad, I'm then able to the number 0, I'm saying letter, it's a number 0, which is the right, it's to the right of the right arrow. It's the elongated key. That is our insert key, or a JAWS key, we call that. That's the JAWS key. So if I hit that key or hold it down, and then I hit the down arrow at the same time, insert down arrow.
Link graphic news /Zoom logo. Table with 2 columns and 23 rows. Hello, Sherlock, Washington. Thank you for registering for VLANJ Tech Talks. Eric Grimes has joined the meeting. You can find information about this meeting below. Table with 3 columns and 9 rows. Nesting level 1. VLANJ Tech Talks date and time April 26.
So now you see that it will then read from the top of the document or the top of the email all the way to the very bottom without me having to interact or keep doing line by line. But if I am going to basically go through and maybe there might be a word that I'm interested to see how that word is spelt or pronounced, or I want to basically get it done phonetically, I can then move word by word. How do I do that? Well, I'm going to use the same JAWS key, which is, I told you, right to the right of the right arrow. It's an elongated key on the bottom. I'm going to hold that down, and as I hold this down, I'm going to start tapping my right arrow. So I'm going to hold it down, tap right arrow.
26:27 p.m. Eastern Time, left parent US, and Canada right May. 24:2023 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, left parent US, and Canada right parent.
So therefore you hear it's now starting to go just word by word. Then there is another way in which we can basically get to a word.
Zoom logo, table with 2 columns.
All right, and I wanted to basically make sure that I say, well, columns. Well, how do I go about and maybe get to that word columns and then move letter by letter to make sure I can see what that spells like? Then I do just the arrow key by itself without any other key, so I don't do the JAWS key at that time. and I'm just using the arrow key to right arrow.
O, L, U, N, N.
Okay, so therefore, it just
Space.
gives me one letter, spaces, and everything else. So therefore, if you're someone who may have typed a document, you may have spell checked the document, it's sharing with you how to make those corrections. Well, now you are able to then utilize this method of being able to just navigate character by character, okay? After this, I'm just thinking about if there's any other, okay, let's just say if there are links on this page. I can do an insert with the F7 key.
Zoom logo.
So therefore, when I do the links list, it will best direct me to all the links that are on this particular page. Now, I don't think that you guys may have heard it because I may have stopped it before it shared with us how many links on the page. So I'll just escape out of the links list.
Escape, table.
Okay, and I'm going to do it again. Insert F7 so you guys can hear what it sounds like.
Links list dialog. Links list view. Zoom logo 1 of 14.
Okay, so now it said I'm on the first link of 14 links that are on the page. So now I can just utilize my arrow key and arrow down.
Add the calendar.x.
So therefore, if I wanted to add this meeting to my calendar, that's the link that will basically allow that feature to take place or allow that function to take place.
Add the Google Calendar. Add the Yahoo Calendar.
So therefore, all the different calendars, which I'm saying that this is a very well thought out email that went out there, so that we make sure that everybody gets all the insights, all the information, and nobody misses anything. So if you are someone that uses your Google Calendar, Yahoo Calendar, and you can find all that right there. Just hit on that link, and it will then take care of doing what we needed to do, which is to add it to that calendar that you may have, right? So therefore, I'm going to continue to arrow down. Okay, then here's our most important button right here. It's called Join Meeting. Now, when we do the Join Meeting, that means that this is a very important key, because with this key, this is how everyone who's using a computer or an iOS device is able to join us on the meeting. They just basically find this link, they click on it, and then it goes directly to where we're waiting in the waiting room before we are let in. But as you see, you need this link, and the quickest way, if you were to basically do this, open up the emails, go to your insert, your F7 key, and then it puts up a links of all the links that you have. It tells me that I have 14 links on this page. It puts you on the very first link, and every time that you arrow down, it'll be one link after another, and it gives you very, very quick and easy navigation to get to where you need to go. Okay, so I'm going to do an escape right now.
Escape, table.
And I just don't know, because one of the things that I wanted to basically figure out or find out from some of you users is if you are a JAWS user. So I know that some of us, you know, in the very beginning, we can certainly purchase or get a JAWS license or subscription, and we can utilize that subscription. So this way we are not working in a mode that's just a demo mode. Because if you just download the program from the Spare Freedom Scientific website, what will happen is it will just be
trying to see if I'm muted.
Where you are when you're downloading, and when you're saying that where you are when you're navigating, it's just you're paying for that service, so you're not 40 minutes that you have to restart your computer. But if you're okay with that, then obviously you may want to just basically see if you want to just try JAWS out. I certainly recommend or suggest you can certainly do so. A couple of other things, I guess, in this, what we could look at and doing. Sometimes we don't know what kind of shortcut keys there are available to us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you, if I have that JAWS key with the letter H, listen to this. This is all the helpful commands that we can use.
Link to move to the next email. Press N. Link to move to the prior email. VLANJ. Map to move to the relevant VLANJ. Link to move to the prior email.
And that's just basically, hold on a second, go to the desktop.
Windows N. Windows E. Windows E.
All right, so I should be on the desktop now.
VLANJ. To move to the relevant VLANJ. Link to move to the next email. Escape. Table with 2 columns and 23 rows. VLANJ.
Okay, so I should be out of that email. Let me go back to the desktop. Hold on.
Windows 10, desktop, folder view, list view, Outlook.
Okay. Now, if I'm in the
Four.
where I don't know where the what helpful commands I can use, insert H.
Here are some JAWS hotkey for general use. Description hotkey.
Doesn't matter.
So therefore, it's the JAWS key with the letter H.
But left the meeting.
So once you have that and you tap on that, you can arrow through and see all the commands that you could use for this particular page.
Description hotkey. Blink screen sensitive help JAWS key plus F1. Blink Windows tips on navigation JAWS key plus W. Blink read Windows title JAWS key plus T.
All right, and you heard that JAWS key, which is that insert key that we're talking about, right next to the right arrow.
Blink read Windows title JAWS key plus T. Blink search for JAWS commands insert plus space J. Blink locker unlock the keyboard insert plus space L.
All right. Now there's another cool feature that they have here in JAWS as well too. I'm gonna leave this, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that if we're working on something and we wanted to know what those JAWS hotkeys are that we can use, it's just the JAWS key with the letter H for help. Okay. Let me hit the escape key.
Escape.
All right. So we got out of that help key.
Outlook 34.
Now there's also, let's just say that if I was only interested in what keys I can use or what shortcuts I can use for Windows keyboard itself, I'm going to do, as it said, JAWS key plus the letter W.
Following are useful Windows keyboard commands. To access an application menu bar, press Alt. To open the Start menu, press Control plus Escape for the Windows key. For Windows help, press F1. To exit an application, press Alt plus F4. To cycle between the taskbar, Start button, and desktop, press Control plus Escape, and
so you guys kind of get what I'm saying. So it's all built in here for us
Escape.
To help us navigate, to make things a lot easier for us to get to where we're going, okay? So if I also, by me using JAWS, felt that I needed to, go onto the internet, now those pretty much the keys that I've been talking about have been very, very helpful, especially a lot of links on the internet. So that insert F7 helps us. If you are using JAWS and you hit H and you have on a website, you want to navigate to headings, you just basically press H for headings and it jumps to the next heading. Then you just arrow through the links that you have and whatever you subject or topic that you're interested in pursuing, you just hit enter on that and it will take you to the next link or the next bit of information that you are in need of, okay? So that is pretty much a little brief summary of what you're able to do navigating with JAWS. Now, I'm going to close this out.
Escape. It's Outlook 3459.
And now I'm going to basically turn off our JAWS, okay? Now, they did share with us, if I wanted to exit JAWS, I can just do an Alt F4 from the JAWS window. It tells me to shut it down, right? But for me at this point, all I need to do is just hit the JAWS key with the F4 at the same time.
Unloading JAWS. Quit JAWS dialog. Are you sure you want to quit JAWS? Press enter to quit now or escape to cancel. Okay button. Enter. Desktop.
So I just quit JAWS. So now I hope that you guys are still here because JAWS is not talking. But I know you still are. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to load what comes with our computer systems, which is Windows Narrator, which is automatically built into every computer that is sold that is a PC, okay? So I'm going to hit Control, Windows, lower left-hand corner of the keyboard, and then I'm going to hit the Enter key at the same time to activate Narrator. Here we go.
Starting narrator. Desktop 1, pane.
Oh, and she sounds so delightful, doesn't she? So we're going to use our Miss Narrator to help us see about some of those same features that we were able to do with our JAWS. Let's see if we may be able to still accomplish the same goals that we can to navigate through and to get to some of these things that we were getting to. So now we know we're in the desktop, right? And I'm going to use Narrator to do the same thing. I'm going to go, let's just say we wanted to go to Open Book. So I'm going to hit the letter O, as I told you guys before, because that's not a JAWS function. That's actually built into Windows. So if people were not aware before as to, wow, I didn't know that I could hit the beginning of any letter that I have on my desktop and it'll jump right to it. So here's the proof. We're gonna hit O now.
O.
And O says nothing. Windows M.
And desktop list. Outlook. 34 of 59.
Okay, so there she is. And she also said the same thing like Jaws said. She said 34 of 59. So there's 59 items on my desktop, and this is the 34th item of those 59 items. So I'm gonna hit O again.
OneDrive SW Unlimited Shortcut. 47 of 59.
And
Selected.
And there you go. So, hey, it's working the same way here as it did when me using JAWS. I'll do it again.
Open book changes.
And there it
13 of 59.
is, 13 of 59, and Open Book is now up, launched. It is now on my screen. And that is it.
Press caps lock +1 twice.
Whoa.
Okay, well, I am appreciative of that individual sharing that they're working on some of these steps as well.
Alert Linda Dominic has left the meeting.
Okay, and look, it's still giving me all that information that JAWS gives me, and it's doing it for free. So that's what the beauty of this is also. It comes automatically built in. Now, the comparison. Well, let's just do some more just so you can see. I'm going to hit W for Word.
Windows Fax and Scan. Word. 35 of 59.
Okay,
Selected.
so therefore there is Microsoft, there's Word, so I can open Word up, I can start typing in Word, and she will do the exact same thing that it was doing for me when I'm utilizing Microsoft, using Narrator and doing Word as well.
Zoho CRM Contact.
Now, this actually functions a little bit different because I have to hit the narrator key, and the narrator key in this instance is our caps lock key. So from the bottom left of your keyboard, you go Control, above Control is Shift, and above the Shift key is the caps lock. Above that is the tab. Okay, so if I want to go 1, 2, 3 on top, that is my very important narrator key to carry out some of the functions. Okay, I'm going to go Alt-Tab just to see what I have open right now. Alt-Tab, here we go.
Sherlock SW Unlimited. One of Sherlock SW Unlimited window. Items view. Enter table items view. Natasha Harmon quote 08.
Okay, I'm going to do it again.
Alert. VLANJ Tech Talk. Alert. Table. Link. Image. Link. Alert Chris Eshe has joined the meeting.
Oh, well, I'm also getting the alerts as to who joins and everything else as well, just like it was doing with JAWS. So I'm not really missing anything, right? And if I were to basically go into one of these.
Link. Image. Image. Shape link. Shape link. 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 Image. VLANJ Tech Talk. Link. Image. Date and time. Link. Image. April 26th.
Now you hear everything that's going through this email that we had for the meeting.
Link. Image. Shape link. Image. Shape link. In line with text. Image.
Now I'm going to do the JAWS key, or I'm saying JAWS. Oops. I'm saying I'm going to use the narrator key, which is that caps lock, and the right arrow.
Link. Item. 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 Table. Link. Image. Link. Link.
And if I wanted to visually say all that's on the screen, I'd have to use the narrator key with space bar to have it scan.
Scan all.
And then I would just hit my down arrow.
Copyright 2023 Zoom Video Communications Incorporated. All rights reserved.
So it's at the bottom of the screen. I go to the top.
Link. Image. Shape link.
Arrow down.
Blank. Blank. Hello, Sherlock Washington. Blank.
Now, it didn't do exactly what I thought it was going to do, but I'm going to do it again.
Scan. Link. Image. Thank you for registering for VLANJ Tech Talk. You can find information about this meeting below.
So there it is, and it's starting to read to me.
Image. VLANJ Tech Talk. Link. Image. Date and time.
So therefore, you can certainly utilize this. I guess, like I said, I'm just so accustomed to using JAWS, but I'm just saying that if I really didn't have JAWS and I just got a computer, I'm still able to navigate. I wouldn't say it's as robust as JAWS, but they're working on this to get it even to be better and better with every single revision, every Windows update. They work on Narrator to try to make it as robust as JAWS is. But JAWS has been in the business for quite some time. And all these other major companies are now trying to get on the bandwagon to make sure that we all have accessibility, which is always a great thing for us. And especially if you're going to basically develop and design a product that you're going to be rolling out to the masses, we certainly need to be included on that rollout as well. So now that's why you find a lot of these big companies are now making the big concerted effort to push to give us inclusion to make sure they build accessibility into these products in which we're using, okay? I have a list, hold on a second.
Sherlock SW Unlimited, 2 of 9. Sherlock National Federation, Natasha Harm, narrator keyboard shortcut ...
So therefore,
17.
here's a list of all the shortcut keys in Narrator. So I hit enter to go into this file.
Narrator keyboard shortcut ... compatibility mode word window. Narrator keyboard shortcut ... compatibility mode editing.
So
General commands.
here it is, general commands, right? That's what we all need.
Enter table 21 by 2. Press these keys. Row 2 of 21. Windows logo key plus. Control plus enter. Narrator plus ESC. Narrator plus 1. A.
And when it says narrator plus
Narrator
1,
plus ESC.
let's do this.
Exit narrator. Narrator plus 1. Toggle input learning selected. Narrator plus right. Move to next item selected.
Okay, so there you go.
Narrator plus left arrow. Move to previous item selected.
So those things that I was doing with JAWS, you guys, especially if you've got these commands, are able to utilize and work with Windows Narrator to get the same tasks and jobs accomplished while you're using your PC. So that's Windows Narrator. Now, if I'm in Narrator, hold on a second. I'm going to go back to the desktop. Everybody remember Windows M or Windows D, doesn't matter.
And desktop list. Zoho CRM con.
And I wanted to share with you guys something that's pretty cool. I know that a lot of times we use things like, there used to be something called Magic. There's also a program called Zoom Text, for those who are familiar with that. That is just a magnification software that you're able to change color, contrast. You're able to change the size of the cursor. You're able to do some pretty cool things with that, and it's been around for such a lengthy period of time. But for those of us that may not have the budget for Zoom Text or a Fusion, which is JAWS and the program Zoom Text together, they may have to get a simpler solution just to get themselves up and functioning.
Alert.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you right now that I showed you that we can navigate, move around, and work with Narrator. I want to basically I just want to do something with magnification, right? So as I said, with Narrator, it has also a built-in magnification with our program, which is Windows. So I'm going to hit the Windows key, which is the second one in from the lower left-hand side, second one in from the left. And then after all the way on my number pad, which is the far right-hand side of my computer keyboard, when my computer numlock is on, it basically tells me about all the numbers and the calculator and all kinds of stuff. But the plus and minus are usually in the very top, in the top right-hand corner there. And there's a elongated key, which is plus, and then the minus key is above that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to hold down my Windows key. Now, everybody knows that Windows key is a great key to have because that is like pulling up a search box. But we're not doing it this way. The way that we're doing it right now, we're asking it to help us with magnification. So if you guys didn't know you had this available, here's how we can magnify by using Windows and our Narrator with the built-in magnification. I'm going to hold down my Windows key, and I'm going to tap on the plus.
add, 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 add.
All right. Tell me, Linda, or is that larger?
Yes, much larger.
Much larger. So there you go. And that is something that people were not aware of. Believe me, I wasn't 100% aware until a number of days ago when I knew I was going to help you guys with this to even pull this up. And I'm like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me at my fingertips the whole entire time? I could
Alert
basically,
John Truck.
with using my narrator, and then if I needed to have assistance, not only am I getting speech, but now I'm getting magnification when I want to jump around the screen to help me basically being able to magnify things a little bit better. Now, I don't know as to the smoothing and how clear it is, but I know that they're consistently working on it. I'm going to make it a little larger.
Add, add, add.
And as it gets larger, sometimes I know with some other programs, it starts to pixelate. You can start to see the fine granular pixels, but I know that they've been working on it. Is it passable, Linda? Or Elsa?
It is passable. It is, as you said, like pixelated. The larger it,
The larger
larger-
it gets, it pixelates, right? And I know with things like Zoom Text or Fusion, it doesn't pixelate. They've been working on smoothing it to making it look good as it's. But if I needed something and I didn't have that, program, I can certainly maybe get by. It's not going to look as smooth and look as clean, but they are working on things. As I said, every time you get an update to your Windows, they're working to try to improve on some things. But these are just some things that are here that we didn't realize that we can basically have right here at our fingertips. I'm going to do the minus.
Subtract. Subtract. Subtract.
Now, it should be back to normal again, I'm hoping.
little bit more minus.
Here we go.
Subtract.
There you go.
Okay, so now I don't know what that screen size was, because normally with Fusion or Zoom Text, when you are able to magnify, it tells you 1x, 2x, 5x, 15, whatever the case is. With this, all we get is a minus and a plus. That's all we get. But for those who can see, which obviously I'm not able to visually see this, we are now able to then do what we can here and just be able to get past it. And like I said, if you don't need to really zoom it out huge, you don't have to worry about that pixelation piece. So
Right.
I think this is a pretty decent solution for us being able to get around, especially if we don't have the budget for getting JAWS or Zoom Text or Fusion, which is both of them together. This is a free solution. So I'm checking here, and it's 7:47. So I'd like to take the time to ask those who may, well, hold on. Let me stop this and get back to you. Hold on. Let me see if I can get back into my window.
Narrator keyboard shortcut. Sherlock SW up VLANJ Tech Talk. Inbox Sherlock at SW. Screen sharing meet. Screen sharing.
Okay, and I'm going to do the Alt S to turn the screen sharing off.
Zoom meeting window. Alert, your screen share has been stopped.
Okay, so I was thankful that I got the opportunity to share my screen. Also,
Thank
thankful
you.
that I'm able to just give you guys, and like I said, you can get extremely deep into, working with JAWS, working with some other programs that are out there. But for us, just trying to make sure that we have something that is workable, that, and if we can more or less save or do whatever we need to do for in future getting something like that. Even now there is, you can get JAWS as a subscription, which I believe is like $95 a year. You can certainly do something like that. But I know now the cost of JAWS for a home edition of JAWS is around $1,200. Okay, so sometimes you're relegated or forced to do the yearly subscription if you're not fortunate enough to be able to get a whole entire copy of JAWS. Or Fusion is almost up to $2,000 because you have both JAWS as well as Zoom Text built into the package. Okay, so I'm finished speaking right now, so I'm going to open up so we can have some of those hands raised and see what we can do to find out who's doing what and how we can best help if there's a question. Please, by all means.
All right, we have a line.
You have a
First
line.
up,
Okay, good.
first up is Stacy.
Hello, Stacy.
Stacy's going to unmute.
Okay, my question is, the voice on the narrator is a woman. Is there
Yeah,
a
well-
way, if you have the whatever it came with, is there a way to change it to the female?
Oh, well, it's a female now. You wanted me to change it to a male. You can get a male voice, a female voice. And by the way, JAWS has real speak voices as well, too. So I can make it as lively and as feminine sounding as you just heard with that female voice that you just heard with narrator. I can do the same thing with JAWS as well, because voices out there these days are free. They're on the internet. They are downloadable. If you've got JAWS, you can just go to the Freedom Scientific website, and there's a whole slew of voices, real speak voices to choose from. That's a great question, by the way, young lady. So thank you for that.
Tracy, did you have a question? Just unmute yourself, please. There you go.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Mr. Sherlock. It's Tracy Simon.
Hey, Miss Simon, it's been a while. How have
Hi.
you been?
I'm doing pretty good. My computer is just trying to bamboozle me, though.
Oh, no, we don't like a bamboozling computer.
Right.
What's it doing to you? Okay.
I had a situation. I have the function key on my laptop, but I've never had to use it. I guess it was disabled, and I did some fancy finger work on the left side of my computer the keyboard, and I used the Alt F4 to close my programs and documents.
That's right.
And I noticed that one day that there was a light that I didn't even know existed on the F4 key.
Oh, well, you've got a fancy laptop.
So what did that mean? And then I was not able to use the Alt F4. I then had to use function Alt F4, which drove me crazy.
Well, what happens, right? When you get
What?
a laptop does not have all those keys. Like I have a full layout with a keyboard right here on my desktop here. And in a laptop, sometimes you have to basically, now the program, what are we using as a screen reader? Or what are we using for
Fusion.
accessibility? We're using Fusion. And Fusion is JAWS and ZoomText together. Just like how I had this magnifier thing going on here with the built-in screen reader for Microsoft. All right, so it's narrator, and then that's what we were doing with that. So I don't have to worry about using that because it's a laptop is also different. If you're using the laptop keys, you need to use those function keys because it will act differently with some of these F functions. And then sometimes, like you're saying, if you wanted to revert back, you got to hit that function key again to unlock what you've basically put on with that function key. And there's so many different ways and computers that they have with that function key that drives people crazy. Like, wait a minute, I didn't want it to do that. How the heck is it doing this?
Right.
So it's just by knowing who the particular manufacturer is, and they will be able to share.
I think Sherlock froze, or is it me?
I think so.
Uh-oh, Sherlock's a little frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll come back.
I'm
Also,
super
maybe that's
excited
the
about that.
frozen routine.
Yeah.
Sherlock froze because I don't hear it either.
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
I thought I did something again.
So,
I know, I thought my thing conked out, but something happened to Sherlock's internet or whatever.
yeah,
Oh,
He,
there you go. He's gone.
he'll come back on. Oh,
Yeah.
there he goes.
Okay, what happened there? I don't know.
I don't know. You took a
did I-
commercial break, Sherlock.
I'm not wanting to. I'm just having a nice interaction here, and then I just got like, okay, is that clear, or do you understand? And then after all of a sudden, poof, I get no response.
You're
So-
proof like magic.
But you're back. I love it.
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
back.
Well, Well, Sherlock, thank you for the help. I don't know how I made the function disappear, and I don't know how I made it to get back on, but I promise I'm never touching a bunch of keys on that left side again.
Well, there you go. But then again, I think I asked the question. I don't know if you were hearing me or not. I said, when you have Fusion, how do you have the laptop? Is it laptop layout or is it desktop layout? Do you know?
What's the difference?
Well, here's the difference.
Oh,
We talked about that F function key, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's basically doing different manipulations of the keyboard that we don't know sometimes what it's doing. Remember I was explaining to you guys a little earlier about what the narrator key is the caps lock. But
Right.
if you've got Fusion, guess what the JAWS key is on a laptop?
oh no.
It's the caps lock. Same thing as they're using when Fusion's on. But then again, if you don't have Fusion or JAWS on your computer and you're using Narrator, they're using the same key, the caps lock key, for helping with the function. So you have caps lock, and then you hit any other corresponding key, and you get to navigate and do those functions that you need to do.
Right. Okay.
So that's what the difference is. So if you're using the laptop and you've got JAWS, make sure you set it to laptop layout. And this way you'll start to use your caps lock key with the other keys to do those same things that I've been talking about today. Because you don't have all those keys available to you, okay?
Interesting. Thank you. And I really especially enjoyed that Windows Plus.
Isn't that great? I just thought
Oh my
about
gosh,
that.
yeah.
And I said, that's been sitting there this whole time under our fingertips, and we didn't know it. So now you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I could use it on my Zoom calls because usually I have to use Mr. Jaws to get in, and then he's making noise while I'm getting in, but I can just turn him off and use that function to just magnify so I can, know that I'm on audio or video or something. So
There you
thank
go.
you.
But look at how you're going to be putting that to use right away. Look at that. That new hidden
Absolutely.
gem. It's a new hidden
Thank
gem.
you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Anybody else have a question for us?
Yes, we have Ashley.
Hello, Miss
Yeah.
Ashley.
Hi there. I think that's me.
That is you.
Yeah,
you?
awesome. Yeah, hey, thank you for coming, Sherlock. I'm actually from a different state, but it's cool to hear about this. FYI, I do use JAWS. I grew up using it since I think high school or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of a working age adult, even though I didn't find a job. So I've used it for years, like
But you're
maybe.
a JAWS power user then.
Yeah. I mean, I've used it over 10 years, probably.
There
close
you
to
go.
So that's just a little background. I do have a little vision, so I do occasionally use magnified text. So my questions for you, firstly, regarding JAWS, do you know how many how many different synthesizer voices come preloaded on JAWS? I know that you were using the default Eloquence, which is what I usually use as well.
Yes. I like the Eloquence because as myself have been user of JAWS for such a long period of time, even with all these real speak voices and everything else, which they are a plethora of, I still go back to old school. So I'm still accustomed to him speaking the way he has. We're just old friends, so I enjoy him the way that he is. Is there any other preloaded JAWS? But no, there's no other real preloaded voices unless you go to the Vispero site, and then you can download and preload as many voices that you certainly can. And if you do the insert with the Alt and the letter S, gives you the opportunity to see what kind of voices that there are on built into your computer, as you know, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's how you would do it. Insert Alt, and then after that will basically, with the letter S, and then after you can basically grab the different voices. Let me just see. I did that. Insert Alt S. Hold on, I'm doing it now.
Oh, so you press Insert Alt together, and then the letter S, like Sam. Is what you're saying?
Like Sam. Correct. Yes. My JAWS is not up, so I've got to get JAWS up. And I just updated my JAWS. So what is happening to me probably is I didn't set the hotkey, so now JAWS is not wanting to come up for me. But that's okay. Hold on a second.
It may not.
It may not. Okay, let's just hope that I don't have anything other than J on my computer here. Let me hit this and see if that brings it up. Okay, it did not. So I'm going to do Windows R for run, and I'm going to type in JAWS 2023, enter.
Good idea.
JAWS Zoom meeting.
Hey, welcome back, fella. I missed you. All right, there you go. So he's back on board. So therefore, I was doing this, which is the insert of an S.
Select the theme dialog. List 1, list 2, classic. Classic with flows to and flows from. Colors.
Okay,
Escape.
that's
Zoom
not,
meeting.
I apologize. That is not the hotkey that we're looking for. So hold on a second. We'll let this in Control and S.
Select the voice profile dialog. Default combo.
I went too far. So it's the JAWS key with Control. Hold those down. Tap the letter S, and then after just gives you the voice keys.
Microsoft Mobile Factory. Happy 5X Factory.
Oh.
Happy X64.
Oh, it's Control, not Alt.
It's Control. Yes, it's JAWS key, Control. Tap the letter S. Then you see SAPI 5 Factory, Vocalizer Expressive,
SAPI Microsoft Mobile Factory,
and then Microsoft Mobile Factory
Eloquence.
and Eloquence. Those are what's built into it. So you asked, that is your answer.
Okay, so you said insert the key control.
Insert, Control, hold those down together, and then tap the S for
That's
the
like.
Sam, right. That's
Oh, okay, got it. Okay,
Okay.
I didn't know that command. So thank you for letting me know. And all
You're
this.
welcome. I'm gonna do the same thing to turn it off,
Okay, cool.
and then just do escape,
Zoom meeting.
and it's gone. Okay, just hit the escape key, and it's out of there.
And
But if
my
I
next
turn-
and
Go
yeah,
ahead.
and my next question is in regard to narrator. Well, actually two quick questions. Number one is you showed us how to turn it on, but how do you turn narrator off? And also I know you can tab to links, like the tab key to
Mhm.
links, but is there an equivalent of links list view with narrator?
Now, since I told you I just jumped into it, what I did do was
Mhm.
I forwarded over to Linda and Elsa a list of all narrator keyboard short key commands.
Okay,
Excuse
get
me.
that from her.
God bless you.
Thank you. So it may very well be in that list because we didn't go through the whole entire list, but it may be on that list, and I'm sure that she'll be able to share that since it's on everybody's
Yes.
computer. She'll send it out to you
That'd
guys.
be
and
great.
send it to her, and then this way you guys could just fool around with it a little bit. I think you'll find it very helpful and useful to have just in case. Because sometimes
Right.
JAWS
Yeah,
may
I
not
wonder-
work well, right?
Yeah, that would be a handy list. But you do you know if and to compare the two, I was wondering, the last thing I was wondering was you know how JAWS has hotkeys on the internet to jump to like headings and
Yes, and it has the
links
same
and
thing.
whatnot. Yeah,
Yes.
like H for heading and L
Mhm.
for list.
Links.
Does narrator have equivalent quick navigation commands? Thank
Sure.
you. Yeah, and I'm
You're
done.
welcome. And first off, to turn narrator on and off is the same thing. Control, Windows, Enter to turn narrator on. Control, Windows, Enter to turn narrator off. Concerning the hotkeys, I am not aware of all the hotkeys to jump by headings, to jump by links, or putting up a links list. But as I said, Linda has and Elsa have I put together, and I just forwarded over earlier in the conversation, I forwarded over the list of commands for narrator. So if it's not there, then it obviously isn't there. But if it's there, then you'll find out, and you'll be able to experiment and play around with it a little bit, okay?
I see. Thanks. Okay.
You're welcome. You have a good one, and thanks for coming tonight.
The list has been received, Sherlock, so we will send it out. Any
Perfect.
other questions for Sherlock? Any questions, comments? Things you knew, things you didn't know? 9298. Last four digits of your phone number, 9298. You have a question?
Hi, yeah, it's Joan and Sherlock.
Hi,
Thank
Joan.
you.
Hey,
always
Joan,
do a
how are you?
wonderful job.
Thank
Okay,
you,
very
Joan.
good.
Appreciate you saying that. Thank
Okay,
you.
I'm having a mental block here. I love Jaws. I'm a big fan, and I like my little voice too. The same thing. I've been using him for years. But I was wondering, this is it's just a mental block. I can't get when there's an addition on something to read. Um, I like I used to insert A, and it would read the attachment. I mean, I and
You
I
would
thought
go
that
to
was
the
great.
the insert key with the A will go to the attachments just to go to open them. It's not going to read them, but it's going to put you into the
No,
attachment.
okay. You just once I enter, is that right? It's insert A.
It's when you want to get to your attachments, right? Somebody sends you
Okay.
something as attachments. You can
Right.
do either the JAWS key with the letter A for attachments and see what's there, or when you're in the body of the email, it's Shift Tab, and it will put you in the attachment field as well. So there's two ways to get to your attachment.
Okay.
All
I
right?
just had a mental block. I mean, I've done it 100,000 times, and
It's
all of a
okay. It's
sudden
okay.
I'm like,
It's quite fine. Sometimes we all have a little mental block here and there, but it's all good.
okay,
And
thank
thank you for your question. You enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
You're
You
welcome.
too.
Thanks, Joan. Anyone else? Any questions?
Does he do one-on-one?
You're asking him?
Mr. Washington?
He does do one-on-one if he's asked to do one-on-one. So it sounds like I'm already in a restaurant or something like that. I'm the blind guy. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
who would you like to have? I like that. That was cute.
Mr. Washington.
Your
I
alert
like
went up
that.
so fast, Sherlock.
I love that. That was good.
I have a Mac, and I just got I'm a beginner.
Yes.
And I was getting like, is everybody else getting this? Because it doesn't, there's just so much. But I want to learn Windows as well. And I don't know.
If you want to learn this, and I'm just going to share this with everyone, okay? I'm always available to speak with. I'm going to share my number, and I know that Elsa as well as Linda, they always do a great job in making sure that they promote the number. So it's for those of you now, it's 732, and I don't know if somebody would like to type it in the chat. 20. I'm sorry, I'm giving you my cell number. I'll give you my office number first. 732-290-1677. That is my office line. For my cell, because it's okay, it's all connected, and I just want you guys to realize that when you call my cell, my office number, it rings my cell as well too, because I don't like to miss. So that number directly is 732-208-5353. So please, by all means, we do work with folks on a one-to-one basis where we do tandem, which means that I'm able to jump onto your computer, and it's just like me sitting right next to you. So we certainly do that. I do training with folks all the time, so that's never an issue at all. We love working with folks and making sure that they are exposed and acclimated to anything that they'd like to learn. And we also sell equipment as well too. So those things that we mentioned, with Linda had mentioned at the beginning, we do provide in New Jersey.
What did you do?
Any Vispero product, any blindness product as well too, being JAWS, Open Book, the Pearl camera, focus displays, anything that you could think of that that you may need, we are able to gain access and get those products to you. So feel free to always reach out. Even if you think I do it or don't do it, just nothing wrong with asking the question, right?
VP of programs to everyone. I will send the phone numbers out in the email.
And then know that Elsa is going to send the phone numbers and the email out in an email along with the shortcut keys. And we have another question. Tracy.
Yes, I have another quick question, Sherlock.
Go ahead, Ms. Tracy, go ahead.
What app for an OCR reader would you recommend for an Android? I know that the Apple phone has the Seeing AI, but what does the Android have?
you know, and you know, and I don't want to jump and say to you what I don't know, right? I don't really work within the Android world all that much. I want to get involved in it. I know that it is something that definitely I need to have more exposure to. But I thought that maybe that Seeing AI was also available in the app Android store. No?
I
No,
don't think so, no.
All right.
No.
And hold on. Hold on. Whoa, okay. Okay.
What
How
is
about this?
Lookout?
You know what? KNFB, I believe, works in the Android.
Are they still, are they better than they used to be? 'Cause
Oh, that's funny, but it's but it's true. No, they have gotten a lot better, and not to mention, I believe they've got a lot more cost effective. No such thing as cost
Ah.
effective, okay? So I don't think that they're trying to get that $100 because remember there was no other game in town at that time.
Right.
So therefore, before Seeing AI came out and some of these other free software packages that came out or apps that came out, and they were able to garner $99 for their product. It's not the case now. So, but I know that they did have it for the Android at one point. So for you,
Okay.
maybe you might want to revisit that. Just check in the App Store, in your App Store. I think they call it the Google Play Store, right? So
Mhm.
see if they have that and just let us all know. I'd be curious to find out as well.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here tonight.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments for Sherlock? That was a lot of information, Sherlock.
It was, like I said, it was a lot of ground to cover, but I know with the magnification piece, we could have done the same thing again with going through and showing you how to increase and decrease magnification size. Even with Tracy and stuff, we could have probably had her get her fusion up there and show us how she magnifies and demagnifies and things of that nature. But the point is to make sure that we're able to get access to the materials and the information. And I think that if there is a way, and it's a very cost-effective way, that's the direction in which we need to take.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your knowledge with all of us. We really appreciate.
Well,
Yeah.
always very happy to come and speak with your fine attendees of VLANJ, and I know you guys do some awesome work, so I'm always very happy to.
Oh, thank you.
You guys are doing okay.
Thank you. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. And remember, this will be on the VLANJ YouTube channel because it was a lot of information. So you'll need to listen to it again to absorb all that information. And we will email to you Sherlock's contact information and also the shortcut keys that he was so kind to put together for us. So all of that will be emailed to all of you. Thank you for joining us. Happy spring, and we will see you in May.
Bye to everyone. Have a great rest
Stay
of your week.
well.
Good evening,
Bye for now.
everyone.
Have
Good
a
night.
good evening.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Sherlock.
you, Sherlock.
Bye,
Thank you guys.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming. Thank you guys
Thanks
for
for
coming.
being
What
with us,
is his
Sherlock.
last name?
Thank you.
Washington,
Thank you.
Sherlock Washington.
Washington. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye,
night.
everyone. Have a good evening. Stay well.
Good night, everyone.
Unlimited.